I feel like deep down, as a human being, all we really want in this lifetime is to be seen. All we really want is to be acknowledged. And it begins from coming into this world as a little child, as a baby. And all we do really want is unconditional love, support, guidance, and just the opportunity for us to be our true selves. And somewhere along the line, we get mixed up in the conditioning in society, in expectations, in this false narrative of thinking we have to be this certain version of ourselves in order to survive, in order to feel love, in order to connect. But it's really coming back and unraveling and disentangling all of that stuff to come back in our true essence of what we are, which is pure presence, pure unconditional love. And just somewhere along the line we forgot that. But what does really help illuminate that is the connection that we can find with each other, with one another, with group harmony, with a connected community, with the birds and the trees and the bees and the kangaroos, coming really back into that sense of, you see me, you feel me, you hear me, and I can be me. And I feel like that's the real work, remembering, because it's not like creating something outside of ourselves. It's not something that's like separate from what we already are, from what we've always been. It's a remembering, and it's possible. And I feel that's why we have such a deep craving for connection. Connecting with other people. Because other people are just mirrors to what we already are, Other people represent an opportunity for us to see ourselves. Somewhere along the way in my journey, I got tangled up in the trap of looking outside of myself to give myself a sense of freedom, a sense of safety, security, a sense of knowing that I'm okay. I got tangled up in that in childhood, and it led me to, being 33 years old, realizing that I didn't feel worthy of love until I started to do the work, until I started to actually sit with myself, stop running away, stop numbing, stop avoiding, stop consuming, basically just letting go of all the noise. There were times when I'd be driving to work and I'd be calling someone or listening to a podcast, listening to an audiobook. And then I'd go to work and I'd put my headphones in and I'd be listening to an audiobook, listening to a podcast, and I'd, finish work and I'd be calling someone, and just constantly avoiding myself. And very much a people pleaser, very much just doing what other people wanted and not really knowing deep down inside what I wanted to do, who I was, until I started to slow things down, until I started to meditate, until I started to journal, started to witness the thoughts coming up, the thoughts that I could separate myself from, the thoughts that were not me. They were just the program that was installed through my survival mechanisms of trying to find a way to be me, trying to find a way to survive. However, everything shifted for me when I started to recognize that that wasn't me. That voice in my head I could separate from, and I could let it go. And in that silence, in that letting go, that's when the essence of who I am was being felt. I could really feel into my body. I could really feel into allowing the emotions to arise and pass and really bring a sense of presence, aliveness. And through that, really finding out the deeper core layers of who I am, I discovered a deeper sense of love for myself. I started to feel love within myself. And through that beautiful experience, that's when I found myself in alignment with my other, my soulmate, Sarah, who was on a similar journey to me at the same time, finding herself, choosing herself, stepping into the energy and the frequency of what that felt like to feel worthy of love, to find a soulmate. And for me, it was really feeling the love within myself, like I am worthy of love. And it's easy to say, it's just, we don't actually experience this physical reality on, the affirmations that are coming out. We're experiencing it on the deeper, fundamental core beliefs underneath the subconscious, which has been rooted in childhood, And we do have this beautiful opportunity to shift that, to change that, and to evolve, and to choose another path, to choose love within ourselves first and foremost, because everything inside of us is the center. And then as we move from that center, we experience the life outside of ourselves as a projection, as a reflection of who we truly believe we are. So if we can come from a beautiful place, if we can give ourselves that love that we felt that we didn't receive as a child, and then we can let go of any sort of healing journey, because the healing journey is just a part of the process of remembering the wholeness in which we are. We don't have to become attached to that. We can just, in essence, just allow whatever is being presented in each and every moment to come up. Allow the breath to come up, allow the thoughts to arise. Don't have to force it or control it, try to change it. Just with that pure intention of allowing, we can surrender to life, and whatever is going to happen in this present moment is happening for me. And that's perfect in its imperfections. It is absolutely the way it has to be, because it is. If it wasn't, then it wouldn't be this way. And in that allowing, that's when you surrender to life unfolding, and then you get to choose. You get to come from that place of, what do I want? Because it's a co-creation, this physical manifestation, And that's the deep work that we can choose if we're drawn into something more. If there's a feeling of, I just don't want to get a job and do the 9 to 5 and grind it out and live for someone else and, do the dance of the kids and the wife and the house, the mortgage, paying it off at 30 years for that golden age of retirement. And then I can retire and do whatever I want, but then I've got all these ailments, these sicknesses. Because, that's not really living for me. There's something far greater than just survival. You can live from a place of authenticity, freedom, of being who you truly are, and that's really the dance of life. It's like to come back to who you truly are. Forget about all the forms of separation that keeps you distracted, comparing yourselves to others. And come back into the silence and the essence of what you already are now, and it's a beautiful way to experience this physical reality. I feel like there's an opportunity for us all, if we're willing to go into the depths of ourselves that a lot of people aren't really willing to go to, in the fear of losing themselves. But what would be the biggest fear? Would you be worried about going to the depths of yourself more so, or would you be more worried about getting to the end of your life and realizing that you lived a life that wasn't actually true to you? Because that's the number one regret of the dying. Imagine living a life for somebody else, because you're too afraid to actually look at yourself, observe, why do I behave in certain ways? Why do I say certain things? Why do I think these thoughts? Why do I feel like I'm trapped? Or why does all these experiences happen to me? Flipping it from a place of why always me to this is happening for me, and what am I going to do about it?